Hi, I'm Kyle Sloan. This is my friend Damon Corneli, and we want to look at escaping from Kesa Gatame. Sometimes when you're holding Kesa Gatame, or being held with Kesa Gatame, and you're doing the standard drive in, shrimp up over the top, drive over the top, bridge and roll idea, as soon as you make your initial drive in, the man on top will make a slight adjustment to nullify the entry that you just made. And we're going to look at how to deal with that mechanism, because it works. There's things that work on both sides of this. So Damon's going to go ahead and lay down. I'll set Kesa on him. And what's going through my mind is, hey, I've got him with my Kesa Gatame. He locks pretty good. So he's going to drive in. And I feel this drive, and I say, ha-ha. Oh, I moved my feet. I survived his assault. And he drives in again. I said, by the second or third time, I'm getting fairly confident that it doesn't really matter what Damon does. I'm going to get out of this. Go ahead and try it again. The thing that happens, one more time, is that he's going to be able to take advantage of the momentary action as I'm transitioning. We've done that 4 times now. He's bridged in, and I've responded the same way each time by adjusting my position. So Damon says, hey, he's done the same exact thing to counter me 3 or 4 times in a row. I bet I can get him with this. The trick is we're going to capitalize on the fact that the man has fallen into a pattern of adjusting. And he adjusts the same way. So we're going to hit him. Typically, I like to hit him at least twice. And they're going to, if they adjust the same way, typically if you hit them a 3rd time, they're going to adjust the same way again. So for purposes of the drill, I'd like to get 2 good shrimp actions into the man before I attempt my counter. The way that this is going to work is as soon as Damon drives in, immediately he's going to cut to the bridge. Even though the line isn't there, the alignment of the bodies is not perfect, he's going to be catching me as I'm transitioning. And as I'm transitioning, I'm fairly weightless. So let's see what happens. So I've got my Kesa position set on him, and he tries his mischief to me. I say, ha ha. Ha ha. And you'll notice that he started off, the first escape idea was good. The second one was different. Yeah. His second attempt was slightly different than the first one, so I had to adjust a different way. His third attempt was the same as the first attempt. So what you've got to do is bridge in that same uphill drive each time. 1, 2, 3, and on the third, if I move the same way, you should be able to pop me right over. So here we go. 1, there's 2, and on the third, there he goes. You're able to take advantage of the motion of the fact that the man's fallen into a repetitive pattern. You see the same thing that you're doing in your Tachiwaza game, where you set the man up and bait him to see how he responds. It's the same thing. The man on the bottom is just sort of baiting you. He says, I'll bridge into him and see what he does. Oh, okay, he responded that way. Well, I'll hit him with the same thing and say, oh, he did the same thing again. I bet if I do it a 3rd time, he'll respond exactly the same way. And we roll the dice a little bit with that gamble, and we predict the future and say, yeah, I bet he does. And more often than not, they will do exactly the same adjustment. And when they do, you just go ahead and immediately drive in, drive out, just bam, and you'll end up with a perfect turnover.